Hi again, I'm Lisa DiFrancesco with Regional Water Authority. This is our second class, and today we're going to talk about the Maltby Lakes watershed and some of the things we might find inside of it. But before we do that, as I promised, we're going to get started with our water quality worksheet. This time the water quality worksheet looks a little bit different. Some of the blanks are filled in, some aren't. Your job is to fill in the information that's missing. We're going to pause the video here so your teacher can pass out a worksheet to everyone, and you're going to fill in the missing information. When you're done, we'll start the video back up and review what you filled in. When we're reviewing the missing information, if you couldn't remember what it was or if you spelled something wrong, go ahead and fill it in or correct it on your worksheet as we go. In the box with the cow next to it, you should have nitrates and the word bad. The next box is dissolved oxygen, and that is good. The next box is water temperature, and we didn't put any reminder for good or bad on that one, just water temperature. And the last box is pH, small letter P, capital letter H, and our note on there was 6 to 8 is good. That's the healthy range. We're all done with the worksheet for today, so go ahead and put that away. We are going to start the next class with a review of the same worksheet. I bet you can figure out which blanks you'll need to fill in next time. Before we jump into looking at our map and aerial photo of the Maltby Lakes, let's do a quick review of what a watershed is. Just for a review, a watershed is an area of land that no matter where water falls inside of it, it's all going to mix together into one common spot, like a lake or a river. Looking at our diagram that's up on the screen, that yellow dotted line is outlining our watershed. Any water that falls inside that yellow line is going to go into the river that runs through the center of it. Let's take a look at the map of the Maltby Lakes watershed. There are 3 main colors on the map: blue, black, and red. I want you to think about what those 3 colors represent. We're going to pause the video here so your teacher can divide the class into 5 groups and give each group a map of the Maltby Lakes watershed. Once you have the map, I want you to talk with your group and discuss what you think the 3 colors represent. Let's start with blue. That's a common color on all maps. Blue represents water, and in this case, it's the Maltby Lakes. Black represents the town borders. It separates one town from another. Red is the watershed boundary. Any rain that falls, snow that melts, or pollution that is within the red line will eventually end up in the Maltby Lakes. The Maltby Lakes are in a fairly small watershed. Next, I would like you to figure out how many towns are part of the watershed. There is no one town that is completely inside it, but there are multiple towns that are part of it. Here's a hint. Take a look at where the town boundaries, the black lines, cross the watershed boundary, the red line. How many towns did you find? The answer is 3. Let's take a look at the 3 towns. We have New Haven in the upper part of the map, Orange in the lower left-hand corner, and West Haven in the lower right-hand corner. Anything that happens in these 3 towns inside the watershed boundary will affect the water in the Maltby Lakes and impact the water quality. Next, we're going to take a detailed look inside the Maltby Lakes watershed. Everyone is getting a worksheet, like the one on the screen right now, and each group will get an aerial photo of the Maltby Lakes watershed. We're going to pause the video here so your teacher can pass out the worksheets and the aerial photo. When you get the materials, start working with your group using the aerial photo to answer the questions on the worksheet. When you are through, We'll resume the video and talk about what you found. The first question asks about 4 observations of the area. You can see there are suburban neighborhoods, a water storage tank, and a Krauser store. There are also roads and forests. What else did you find that I didn't mention? How many islands are in the Maltby Lakes? There are 12 islands scattered between the 3 different lakes. What is the main road that runs at the bottom of the aerial photo? That's Route 34, a major route across New Haven County. We'll be testing the water in lake number 3 on the day of the field trip, and we'll determine the water quality by looking at our data. How healthy do you think the water is going to be based on what we've learned about the watershed today? Today you learned that there are 3 towns that are part of the Maltby Lakes watershed, and whatever happens in those towns within the watershed will affect the water in the Maltby Lakes. That's why we're testing the water, to see if any pollution is happening on the land and making its way to the lakes. You also got to see some pretty specific details about our testing location. Next time I see you, we'll be practicing using the water quality test kits that we'll have out with us on the day of the field trip. And don't forget to review your water quality worksheet. You will see that again at the beginning of the next class. That's all for today. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.